When the human biology program was started, it was clearly a somewhat risky venture. It had not been done.
Human biology is an undergraduate major in which students learn to integrate both biological and social sciences and use those disciplines to solve complex human problems.
We need both the biological knowledge and the social science knowledge if we're going to affect change.
Students get much more exposure to the convergence between ecology and environmental policy, between physiology and health policy. And if that's the kind of connection that interests someone, then they ought to think about human biology.
Well, the core is actually a year-long course composed of 3 quarters, and it meets every day from 9 to 11 o'clock, Monday through Thursday. The core really is an interdisciplinary survey of how human organisms interact with the world around them. It begins with human evolution, continuing through development, both psychologically and biologically, and concluding with an examination of how humans interact with the world around them through policy.
The field seminar program really started in 1993 to add an experiential learning component to the Stanford curriculum. It occurred to me that a lot of the concepts and ideas I tried to get across in class speak for themselves in the field, in the Galapagos, in the tropical rainforest, in a place where students could see firsthand evolution in action. It becomes a lived, experienced interaction with nature.
Human biology relies on faculty that come from different departments, so all of us have an appointment in a particular department and choose to allocate some of our time to teaching in human biology.
The secret to catching these fish is to actually move more slowly than you might.
Human biology allows us to interact with wonderfully intelligent students who will change the world, and lets us work with them at a time when they're really interested in figuring out what they want to be and what they want to do.
Oh, and that thing is blocking so many.
Because we have so many different specialties and concentrations within our major, it's important that our current students have, know what else is out there, know what's beyond human biology.
Each person has their own path that they want to do. If you want to take a little bit more time or you aren't sure, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
As a student advisor, oftentimes we get questions about what classes should I take, or I'm looking for a certain kind of internship, what faculty advisors should I have, what's appropriate for my area concentration.
You can do whatever you want, and you can take any way you want to get there. And as far as doing stuff here, you can work for a while or go back and do those classes in what's called a post-bac program.
One of the things that characterized the program early on was that students really did get involved in planning. They were members of the executive committee. We used student advisors early. We used undergraduates as TAs early. And they were very, very good.
Now, my lab is called the Center for Infant Studies, and here we do research on the early development of communication, how children learn to understand speech, how parents communicate with children. And we're reading babies' minds, trying to figure out what's going on inside their heads as they listen to speech. A lot of research gets done here, but it's also a place where teaching and learning are central to the mission as well. Jen began in the lab as an intern, and one of the goals of the HumBio internship is for students to have hands-on experience in an area that's of interest to them, and then once they've learned how things work, perhaps to go deeper into that topic.
Basically, she's going to be sitting in your lap, and it's going to be in a black booth, and there's going to be 2 television screens there, and so we're going to be having her look at pairs of pictures.
Look at the duck. Good job.
I started out here at the Center for Infant Studies as an intern, and the work interested me, so I decided to conduct some research to perform my own experiment. And right now I'm at the process of collecting data for my honors research, and hopefully that'll lead to my honors thesis in the spring.
About a quarter of all students in human biology begin honours research, and close to that number finish it. And we're very proud of that. We push them to pose a question and draw the conclusion that the data shows. And the data doesn't always behave in ways in which students want it to behave. And then they begin to see the importance of the scientific method. It's a very humbling experience.
Interdisciplinary programs like human biology exist because there are some problems that can't be addressed unless you get a mixture of the disciplines into a curriculum.
The human biology program, since its inception, has performed the very important function of providing students whose interests don't quite fit in the typical departmental mode to have an opportunity to customize their education more to their interests and needs.
My name is Catherine Kelly, and I'm an environmental toxicologist. I work to prevent adverse effects to human health and the environment, anything from your local gas station to chemical weapons destruction. And it includes incineration facilities, landfills, pulp and paper plants, pesticides, a variety of radioactive and biological and chemical contamination. At 9 sites throughout the U.S. and overseas, we've got stockpiles of leaking chemical weapons. And we're working with federal and military agencies to make sure that those stockpiles are reduced in a way that is safe for the workers, is safe for those who live nearby, as well as for the environment in which it's being destroyed. HumBio has been very important in my career from the start. First, I would never have taken an environmental course had it not been a requirement of the HumBio core. And I don't know where I'd be today without that background.
We're very fortunate at Packard to have one of the larger pediatric brain tumor programs in the country.
Hey, Gary. How are we?
We have a multidisciplinary clinical and research program for children with brain tumors.
No problems with it bothering you?
My role is to oversee a lot of their therapies, to oversee their chemotherapy. Some of them are referred obviously for irradiation and surgery as needs come up. We want to make sure things such as their schooling goes well. We want to make sure their emotional needs are met and the emotional needs of the family are met.
Have you been feeling sick to your stomach, Princess?
Sometimes she's feeling nauseous and I give the
Zofran.
Zofran.
Is anyone teasing you at school?
Yes.
Is that the reason?
My hat blows away.
I see.
They keep laughing and bald.
I see.
People always ask, why did I choose neuro-oncology? People always say things like, it's got to be the most depressing. I think it has to be the most rewarding thing. You go into this because it's a great way to do interdisciplinary medicine. It's a great way to pull together skills in oncology and pediatrics and neurology and bring in all the social sciences through psychology and things like that and bring them all together and help someone. There are many children who you save and cure. There are times when you don't, but you help a family through the process. It's like sports. There are times when you come up against a team you know you can't beat or you can't win, but you want to always go out and play your best game and do the best thing for the group, and I think we do that.
You're doing great, Carrie. All right. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
We used to say that we hoped that almost as many students would take human biology and go on to law school as would take human biology and go on to medical school. That is, we thought that this intersection between the social and behavioral sciences on the one hand and the life sciences on the other would work for people with very different kinds of professional intentions.
Oh.